Welcome back, Busters. So previously I had mentioned that I was working on 2 different ice dye experiments, and I've already videoed one, came out really good. Well, this is my second one, and so what it was going to be is an ice dyed peace sign, and I've tried it multiple times, and it comes out adequate once in a while, but what I figured out is what's best to do is liquid dye the peace sign and ice dye the body. And so that's what we're going to do today. So let's give it a go. Hi YouTube, and welcome back to all my Buster buddies. Hey, it's your big kahuna here, Brad, and this is Brad's Boredom Busters, your tie-dye art channel. All right, yes, we are going to ice dye a peace sign. I finally figured out a good way to do it. So, hey, what you're going to need for this project is a 100% cotton t-shirt in white. Pre-wash that first and then soak it in soda ash solution for 20 minutes. And then I stuck mine in a dryer for about 30 minutes just to get most of the moisture out. It's just barely damp, but it's mostly dry. And that's going to help in the dye absorption once it's all tied up. All right, the other items you'll need for this project is a washable marker and then some kite string, and then you'll need a string to help create the radius of the peace sign. And so if you've got all that together, all my materials are waiting for me over here, so let's get to the work table and get her done. Okay, Buster, so here we are at the work table. Hey, I'm sorry, I also forgot to tell you, you're going to need a protractor to help lay this peace sign out as well. All right, so like I said, my shirt's been pre-washed, soaked in soda ash solution, spun out, and then put in the dryer for 30 minutes. And so it's just barely damp. And so this will make it really good to, tie up well, but also to absorb the dye. Okay, so let's get on with the fold up. First thing to do is center the shirt. So let's get that done. All right, so let's take and pull the front forward. All right, and then we're going to take and pull the, well, most of the time I take and pull the bottom sleeve up into the top sleeve, but on this one, it works out better if you take the top and push it down into the bottom, and you'll see why when we get further on with this pattern. We just push it through and then line up the underarm seams. Okay, so now just determine where you want the center of your peace sign, and usually come just underneath the underarm. So about here should be good. All right, and so the first thing to do once you get established where you want the center, take your protractor, lay that on your center mark, and then mark off at 60 degrees. And mine has this little ruler attached to it, so I can do that. If yours doesn't, and you have to just make a simple mark, then the one thing you can do, you could use a ruler then to extend your mark out. And, so you could do it something like this. That works just fine too. Anyway, so once you've got that, then you take this fold it along this 60-degree mark, like that. sure you don't have wrinkles underneath here. Okay, and so now you've done that 60-degree fold. Now you take this first part and bring it back over to this mark. And so now you have no wrinkles under there. Now you take the other half of your center line of your shirt and take the collar, bring it over to this mark. There you go. That is that. And this is why you pushed your sleeves through, because see, now it ends up on top. So now you've got all your wrinkles out. It's laying pretty flat. Looking good. Okay, so now we can take your string, put a little loop in it, so you can put your washable marker through that. And now we're going to create a radius, which will be the radius for the peace sign. Now, you don't want to start up too close here, because when this gets folded up, you're going to fold along the line that you create. But when you apply the die for the peace sign, you're actually going to be coming up above that. So give yourself, good 3-4 fingers, so you have room to actually, apply the die. So I'd say if we come down that far, we should be pretty good. I might even come just a hair lower. All right, so now create your radius. Turn that, and we're going to pleat up along this line. All right, so there we are. We're all pleated. Now let's grab our kite string, put a slip knot in that. You know what? Hang on. I want that to face down. There we go. All right, we're good now. All right, so take your loop and cinch it up along your line. All right, and then wrap that a few times, lock that in. There we go, good. All right, and so now this edge that has the 3 folds, and you got a single fold facing you. Now you're going to gather this up and pleat it so it faces straight going this way. All right, and then just take your kite string and lock that down. Now what you can do once you get that all locked in is you're going to lay out where your die is going to go. And so I say usually, like I said, this is why we left room for the collar. So there's your collar. And so I'm going to come 2 fingers here. So I'm going to come that far up with die. And then we want equal distance from the center here down. I'll go 2 more fingers that way. All right, so that's where our die will be. And so what you typically do, tie off along your line. And then just come back up the shirt and tie this section off. All right, and then your peace sign is tied up. For the rest of the body of the shirt, when I did my experiment, I actually scrunched it, but I found that making it kind of that thick with the ice dye, I had some white areas that didn't get saturated. That's one other reason I dried the shirt more. I didn't dry it when I did it that time. But let's do just a light scrunch here, and then take your kite string and just wrap that the rest of the way up the body. And just kind of a light wrap. You don't want it too tight. You want to, allow the dye to absorb into the shirt. Okay, Busters, so here's our peace sign all tied up. And so now, because I'm doing liquid dye on the peace sign, but ice dye on the body, I'll get set up to do the liquid dye first here. And then after that, I'll bring in my curing tub and get that all set up to do the ice dye. So let's get this done first, and then we'll get on with the ice dye after that. All right, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, Busters, so all set up to do our liquid dye portion of this video. So let's go over the colors for the liquid dye of the peace sign. I'm going to do colors. I want this to be very contrasty and kind of punchy. It may sound unusual, but I think I like the way black turns out, especially when you have the lines. You get some texture in it, so I think that'll look kind of cool. So the actual peace sign itself, I'm going to dye in new black, and then right bordering that, I'll be doing lime pop, and then out a little further, I'll be doing seafoam, and so that ought to look pretty cool. And then when I get into the body of the shirt with the ice dye, we'll go over those colors at that time. So I'll start applying the black first, and hey, enjoy the music. All right, Busters, so that's all the liquid dye that I'm going to apply now. And so let me get set up for the ice dye. And I got to get my ice dam all put together. So I'll be right back, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, Busters, so I'm all set up. I've got my ice dam on here just loosely, because that way it makes it easier for me to apply the dye. After I get the dye and the soda ash on here, then I'll take clothespins and tighten it up so I can apply the ice without it falling through. All right, so the colors we're going to do, and I'll probably do them in, I'm only using two colors. I'm going to use amethyst and mist gray, and I'll put those on kind of repeating just on up. So I think I'll start with the mist gray and then amethyst and then mist gray and amethyst to finish. And that'll be the size of it. All right, so I'll start applying the dye, and then after I do that, I'll apply dry soda ash before the ice. All right, enjoy the music. All right, Busters. So there's ice dam is all set, and so what I'm going to use for the ice, at least initially, I may actually use a combination. I'm going to use my square blocks of ice that I have the ice molds for. I have similar molds to mine in my Amazon affiliate links, and so a lot of times the square ice, you can place it and it makes it easier than cube ice that can kind of go everywhere. This you can control kind of the placement, and so that's what I'm going to use. And like I say, if you would like to try some of these type of ice cubes, yeah, help yourself to the affiliate link down in the description. All right, let me grab my ice. I'll be right back. All right, got the ice mold. Let's get the cubes out. Okay, Busters, so I think that's enough ice, and so now it'll sit, and when this ice melts out, I'll assess it. I typically do 2 applications of ice, and so I will actually make some more these large cubes so I can apply them once again. And so after the 2 applications of ice and that it's all melted out to my satisfaction, then I will let it sit for 24 hours to cure. And after it's cured, then I'll take it out to the laundry sink and we'll rinse it out. I'll start with a cold water rinse to flush out the soda ash, and then I'll turn it up to hot to flush out any dye that hasn't bonded with the shirt yet. And once it's all rinsed out and running pretty clear, then I'll put it in a hot water wash with detergent and Synthropol. And so after it's all washed and dried, we'll bring it back here for the reveal. So thanks for watching, and we will see you at the reveal. All right, my Buster buddies. So here is my finished peace sign. Hey, I think it came out really cool. I love, like I said, the black. I knew it was going to give me some interesting textures. It just usually works out that way with the folds and everything. So I always like the way this new black kind of works. The lime pop came out really nice. Oddly enough, the seafoam, it kind of washed out, and I'm really surprised about that. It might be, the dye's been sitting on my work table for a couple weeks, so maybe it's just gotten weak. It's not terrible here, but around the outside, it's really washed out. You just barely see it just in close to the lime pop, but I don't know if it's because of the ice dye. Right up close to it, I had the mist gray, and so maybe the liquid from, the ice dyeing kind of diluted the seafoam. And so it gives it this really almost a white appearance around there, but there is color here. I don't know if it's translating that well, on the camera. But yeah, the mist gray, it's got some of its color splits, and it's almost absorbed some of the amethyst, because down in here the mist gray is really a pale pink. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it came out good because you can see in the sleeves the mist gray, the amethyst. It came out really nice. The back is interesting too. Like I say, where the mist gray is, you get an interesting pattern. And so yeah, this came out nice in the back. It's really colorful and bright. So I like the back. And I like the peace sign. I'm just a little disappointed that the seafoam didn't come out a little bit more vibrant. But beyond that, I think it's a nice shirt. Definitely got a great definition of the peace sign. So yeah, I think this is a winner. So hey, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And hey, if you like this video, share it around with your friends. That really helps me out as well. And you've made it this far in the video, so you must like what you've been seeing. So hey, it doesn't cost you anything. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And if you need any materials, don't forget about my affiliate links. They're down in the description area below. So if you need anything, help yourself. That helps out my channel as well. Well, I appreciate all you watching this long, and I appreciate all my subscribers. Love y'all. Peace out, baby, and go have fun tie-dyeing. But the amethyst, that's a hard word to say.